Hi guys, it's me, Kat, MrsHandyRU. I hope you're all doing really well. So I wanted to tell you that Monday, this coming Monday, the 30th, September 30th, I'll be at Louis Herm's Unity Tour in northern New Hampshire, because I live here in New Hampshire. It's in Lebanon, New Hampshire, which is near Dartmouth College, which is in Hanover. So anyway, I don't know if anybody's able to come, but I thought I'd let you know. So I'm really excited. I've never done anything like this. So anyway, I'm going to give a little preview of what I'm going to talk about. So let me know what you think. So this is what I'm going to start with, I think, because a lot of people will be there that don't know everything that a lot of us do because they've not been involved as long, right? So some are just new, some know more than we do, whatever. So anyway, so this is what I thought I'd do, because gematria, same thing, is kind of unusual, So I thought I'd explain it just a little bit. And so President Trump and others talk in code, right? And if you are at a rally, or if you watch a rally on TV, or on RSBN on YouTube, which is a great way to watch it, RSBN, in case you're new. When they pan around the room, you'll see a text number, and it's to support the campaign financially, and it's 88022. So gematria is the Bible code, and it's a simple code. It's super simple. It's just A equals 1 all the way to Z equals 23. And I use gematrix.org. It starts with a G, Gemetrix. And it's a site that helps you just enter the word, phrase, things like that into this database, and it will come up with lots of matches. Numerological, I can't talk. You know what I mean? Matches. And so anyway, you get the matches, and then you listen to what's inside of you. God's talking to you, Holy Spirit, source, whatever you believe. And you'll start to get a picture. After you do this a lot, you'll start to get a picture. And when you're decoding what other people say, like President Trump or just everyday people, you'll start to get a story about what's going on in the world or what's coming up. And so not all these matches pertain to what you need to see. So don't get overwhelmed by that. There's going to be things out there, and it's going to be obvious when these matches come up in the database. It's not pertaining to you or to the situation or the day, but you'll start to see what is, and it's just something that you feel inside. So you can either enter it in your phone and keep lists that way. This number equals X, Y, and Z, all your matches, or you can write it down. I tend to write things down because I like things in paper, even though that's old-fashioned. See, I've got this is my notes. This is my notes. So anyway, so he has this text number up on the surrounding him all the way in a circle. So it's 88022, and it's really important that number. So 88, the beginning of the text number, in simple gematria, which it comes up with simple English and Jewish when you use this database, and I usually look at simple and Jewish. And anyway, 88 equals Trump. So he knows what he's doing. He knows that's why he picked this text number, because it's gematria and he speaks in code. So 88, like I said, is Trump. And 22 equals, in simple gematria, it's 165. And you don't need to memorize any of this. It's okay. Just kind of take it in if if you're new. And 22 equals Donald Trump code. So it's 88022. So the first part means Trump, and the second part means Donald Trump code, and he talks in code. And anyway, so 22 also equals, because there's a lot of things that it can equal, and I didn't turn my notifications off. I'm sorry if you hear a noise. Anyway, so Donald Trump code, and it also equals connect the dots. Like, let's get with the program. Let's start listening to what he's saying, because he double talks too. What he says, when he repeats himself, that's a good thing. Okay, before double talk, when he repeats himself, you should enter that phrase or a word, whatever you feel is important for that moment, in the database, and just go, oh my gosh, that's what he means. He's saying this 2 or 3 times in a row. He does it a lot. There's no way you can do all the stuff he says. I mean, don't get overwhelmed with that. It's a lot. I think at some point our brains will just automatically decode everything. Our brains will be better and everything will work really good, like it's supposed to, not like, what they call junk DNA. I think the good DNA, it's all good DNA. And part of it's asleep, and it's going to wake up. So let's see. Oh, and another cool thing about 22, besides Donald Trump code, it equals Portsmouth. And my speech is in New Hampshire. Well, it's only a couple minutes, I'm sure. It's not a big deal. But anyway, like I said, it'll be in Lebanon, New Hampshire. And Portsmouth, that's northern New Hampshire, and Portsmouth is in southern New Hampshire. So that equals the 22 out of the 8822, 022. Another cool thing, it matches the 22. It equals the Pink Panther. Now, that's a channel that I love. It's called Clouseau. And it's not spelled quite the same. In the Clouseau movies, the Pink Panther, they have 2 S's, and the one that I am talking about has 1 S. So it's CLOUS, 1 S, EAU. And what that channel has been around for a while now, excuse me, and it's got, I'm going to have to take a drink, sorry. So, it's been around for a while, and behind President Trump, really often, there are famous people all in the audience right behind him. So if you're watching this on RSBN or something like that, you'll start to pick out people, or people that maybe they don't look quite right. Sometimes there's a famous woman and they're dressed like a man, or vice versa. So you really have to look and see, like, I'm looking because the TV's over that way. I'm not crazy. Not really. And anyway, so there's famous people that you think are gone, like died in a plane crash or something like that, or like Kobe Bryant, and he and his family and manager, I think it was, all supposed to have died in a helicopter crash. Well, no, that didn't happen. He's there at a Clouseau, a Trump rally on a Clouseau channel. And I was at a rally that became a Clouseau video. It was in Manchester, New Hampshire, and it became one. And that's where I saw Martin Luther King behind him. And you'll see, if you look for one from Manchester, it's so cool. It's so cool he's standing behind President Trump, and he's on the right. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 videos about it. So if you look back, just look back on my playlist. I'm pretty sure I've got a MLK playlist. At least if I don't, I'll try to put one together. And anyway, that's so cool. He was there. Let's see, what else can I tell you? So yeah, so some of the famous people that you think are gone, that are not gone, I'll just give you an example, are Paul Newman. is one. Jackie Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Jr., George Harrison from the Beatles. How about that? And he's dressed like a woman in a tank top. It's hysterically funny. You can see his collarbone. He just looks so much like a man. You know, he's got shoulder length hair that's kind of wavy. It just, I'm not saying that looked like a man, but anyway, the way he looks like a man dressing as a woman. And let's see. So who else? Oh yeah, I told you about Kobe Bryant, Tom Petty. Lots of musicians and band members are just kind of took themselves out of the picture, so they are safe. Or, you know, they've had enough of the pressure. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's easier to understand right now, but I think it's way beyond just, you know, they can't take it anymore. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. People are manipulated. We're much worse than just manipulated. I'm sorry, I'm so hoarse. Yeah. They're told to do things with small ones that I won't talk about. And then they're videoed. And by those people that are manipulating, the famous ones, you know, the actors or musicians, people like that, politicians. So and if they don't cooperate, I think what they do is they get slipped drugs, you know, somehow, and then someone's brought in the room and then they're videotaped. So they're blackmailed. It's blackmail is what's going on. And that's why the politicians that go to Washington, you think that, oh, we're going to get someone that, you know, represents me, and then they don't. And a lot of it has to do with blackmail and something called honeypotting. You should look that up, honeypotting. It's where a woman, you know, gets with a man or vice versa, I'm sure. I just haven't heard of that. And then there's a videotape made, and then the politician or whoever it is blackmailed. So anyway, back to his coded messages. So he gave a press conference at Trump Tower on 9/26/24, in case you're watching this a lot later. So he misspeaks. That's in quotes. He doesn't misspeak. He's doing all that on purpose. So when you hear him say a word that it's a little off, and, you know, sometimes he'll correct it, sometimes he won't. But either way, it's important, whether he corrects it or not. And I always look at timestamps too, like when did he say that misspeak, in quotes. Let's see. So this is the press conference. I think I watched it on Fox, so there's a video of this from 9/26. And at 54 minutes and 54 seconds, which, you know, he was POTUS 45. So at 54:54, you just reverse the numbers. He said, he was talking about when he says that migrants are coming across the border and that countries are sending their worst, you know, emptying the jails and sending them to the United States. And anyway, he mentions insane asylums a couple of times. But then he said at 54:54, he said insane asylum, when in that sentence it would have been more appropriate to say insane asylums, plural. So it really stuck out. So anyway, insane asylum, singular, is in simple gematria, it's 153, and it's John Kennedy Jr. Remember, I just told you he's alive, in case you're new. So he's telling us right there, you know, that he's here. And so it's all gematria is what it is. Let's see. Okay, now this is interesting. When you hear things, I call it on the fives, you know, you see something at 50, like right here, 5505. So there's 3 5s. And he says, we've never had terrorists come into our country like this. That's because what he's telling us is we've never had terrorists come into our country. He's telling us that this thing at the border and all the news is fake. And that's why he says fake news all the time. One of the reasons he says fake news all the time. So, and he says nobody's ever seen anything like it because it's fake. You know, so he's double talking. And then at 55:22, remember in 22 is Donald Trump code. And now we have 55 for what I call comms, 5x5, like in the military. And he says, they look professionals. And he didn't say they look like, he said that exactly. They look professionals. That's because they are. They're actors. They're actors. There's never been anything in the history of the world. And then he said they're destroying the country. And he didn't say destroying, he said destroying. So it's like I call it a Trumpology, but I think you call it a Trumpism, whatever you want to call it. He said they're destroying the fabric of our country. And destroying equals simple gematria 127. It's Buckingham Palace, sleeper agent, and that's a rap, looks like me. That's what I got. These things all jumped out at me. There's a ton of matches, believe me. But these things, because I've been getting things like this a long time. I've been doing it a few years now. And it doesn't mean you can't do it. Believe me, you can do it. But I've been getting a storyline, as I call it. And Princess Diana is alive, in case you didn't know. A lot of you do know that. But anyway, if you're new. And so Buckingham Palace and sleeper agent, that's because she is playing President Trump. So isn't that fun? I mean, the whole thing, well, of course, it's hysterically fun and wonderful and surprising. And that's a wrap because it's like a movie. So anyway, so often President Trump has mentioned Tom Homan, Homan. And he's a great big guy. Who knows? Somebody might be playing Tom Homan. I don't know. But he was President Trump's Border Patrol czar, right? They call those people czars. So, Tom Homan was in charge of keeping people from coming into the country illegally, And right after he'd say Tom Homan during a rally, and he'd call him out and he'd point to him, or he'd say, oh, that guy. And he didn't say much about him, but what he'd say is he'd say right after Tom Homan, and he'd say central casting. Well, central casting is like the largest extra and body double company. They place people from movies and as extras and doubles in the United States. So that's what central casting is. It's a real company. You could look it up. I mean, it's funny. I made a profile for central casting, but I never got a photo. I filled all the information out for it because I thought, I'd like to do that. Like if it's in the Boston area, I go down. Kind of funny. Didn't pull the trigger though, right? So anyway, so I told you about central casting. So the border crisis is like a movie playing out on our screen. It really is. I know a lot of you think it's real, that YouTubers have gone down to the border and interviewed people, and politicians go down and say, well, this is awful. But it's not. It's all fake. It really is. So anyway, Derek Johnson, who I think is somebody else too, but let's not go there now. Derek Johnson was on Roseanne, like probably at this point a month or two, maybe 2 months ago. And so anyway, when he was on there, he explained what's going on so well. And he used laws and orders, military, I guess it's laws, to explain what's going on. Let's see. So I think that's a good thing to watch. If you haven't already. And speaking of the thing coming up that I'm doing on Monday, this speech. It's more of a like, hi, I'm, Kat, and I do this. It's not really a speech, but Lewis Herms is the one who's doing the Unity tour, and they've gone coast to coast, and they started probably over a month ago, I think. I don't remember. And all these people are just traveling from one coast to the other, all through cities, small towns, and now they're here in New Hampshire, coming here, and they're going to Maine too, which is really cool. So Lewis Herms, I remember hearing him one time saying, "Oh yeah, a lot of people want to spell his name with an E on ES, Hermes," and he says, "Well, that's not right. Basically, that's Hermes, the Greek god Hermes." And so his name is just Herms. And it was interesting because I remembered, oh, he said Hermes. And that I think a lot of gods and goddesses are here. I really do. They're not legends, they're real, and they're still here. They've been coming in different forms. Like they look like us. Anyway, so yes, let's see. I'm sorry. Yeah, oh yeah, and it's funny because the Jacksons, I was looking up the Unity tour, and I saw on YouTube that the Jacksons did something called the Unity tour, and Michael Jackson's involved in all this. He's around. I'm sure he is. Let's see. So it was interesting that this Unity tour ends up in Lebanon, New Hampshire. Well, there's all this stuff going on with fighting going on with Israel and Lebanon right now, and Hezbollah. They're supposedly trying to push Hezbollah out, and Hezbollah has been firing at them, and it's going on back and forth. And if you want to see a lot about it, watch Agenda Free TV. It's a Diana character dressed as a man on Agenda Free TV. So it's not this guy who looks like he's just running this channel. It's Diana just as a guy. It's so funny. Anyway, his name's Steve Lookner, but it's not a guy. I know it isn't. That's my opinion. I mean, obviously I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but that's what I think. I really do. Anyway, let's see. So it was just interesting. Yeah, okay. So I was listening to Billy Carson about the Akashic record, and I think he's Diana too. I think Diana's everywhere, all at the same time. And time travel isn't what we think it is, and that they can be in many, 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 many places at one time. And I think they have to do it because of what they did in the Garden of Eden. They kind of have to do these things, and they're probably not too happy doing all these things at one time. They did bad stuff. They followed Satan, and what does Satan do? He sacrifices the little ones. So if you follow that character, at least this is what I think for the moment, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I think happened, and that they're being kind of punished. They're out on like parole. Not parole, because that's after you're punished. They're out on their own recognizance until, they are kind of punished. And they have to do all these things to teach us in one weird way or another. Anyway, so Billy Carson, he's a real famous YouTuber, a black guy. And so he mentioned Hermes. And I'm going, oh my gosh, Hermes. And he said that he was the Greek, also known as the Greek god Thoth. I think I'm saying it right. Thoth, Thoth. And the Greeks called him a god. This is what I read about it. I don't know much about it. But the Greeks called him a god because he had all this wisdom for them. But this man, or this person, didn't call himself that, but the other people did. So he wrote the Emerald Tablets, and a lot of the Bible is really from what I understand, is really from the Emerald Tablets. So rewritten different ways. And let's see. So anyway, so it's just weird because I'm thinking about Lewis Herms. This is how my mind works. Lewis Herms, and he had said something about, oh, I'm not Hermes. It's like his name is not Hermes. So, and then I'm thinking about her, what Billy Carson said. Okay, so then I worked on Lewis Herms' name, and he's the guy doing the Truth Tour. And Juan O'Savin is going to be there somewhere, or he already has been, I don't know. And Lewis equals in Jewish gematria 1024. That's how I say it, 1024. And it equals the divine feminine, and I'm Jesus. Okay. And Lewis in simple gematria is 68, and it's Hermes. So Lewis equals Hermes. That cannot be a coincidence. That just can't. It equals Jenny. And if you've been around for a while, Jennifer Mack is one of the characters in our movie, right? Jennifer Mack, Juan, and all that stuff. She has her own YouTube channel. She's on Telegram. Well, she's on YouTube. Maybe she doesn't have her own channel, but anyway, she's on different shows, and definitely active on Telegram. Anyway, so we have Lewis and Jenny, and I think Jenny is Diana. I mean, I know this is confusing, but all these people are playing each other. It's just amazing. So Lewis, besides equaling Hermes, and Jenny equals, he is a god. Okay. And then Herms, if you spell it the way Lewis Herms does without the E, it's Herms. And in simple gematria, it's 63. And it's avatar, comms, which is what we all look for right now. We look for them giving us comms. And reveal. And Lebanon. Or Lebanon, next to Israel, you pronounce it Lebanon. In New Hampshire, we just say Lebanon. But anyway, so he's almost ending the Truth Tour. Almost, there's very few more towns and cities afterwards. I think there's a couple in Massachusetts and Portland, Maine. And is it a coincidence that his last name equals Lebanon, and Israel and Lebanon right now are having a conflict? And it's all a movie. That this war that's upcoming is fake. It will be fake. I know that's weird, but if you watch Derek Johnson on Roseanne, he explains right down to the last number of executive order numbers, presidential executive orders. He explains it way better than I ever could. Way better. Just listen to the first half hour of Derek Johnson on Roseanne, and you'll understand what's going on. And so it's going to be a fake war. So when you get the alerts and things like that, there's incoming and chemical attack and nuclear weapons and whatever's going on, and they tell you to go to the fallout shelter or hit the basement, whatever. It won't be real. That's just my opinion, but I know it's coming up. I've been waiting for this forever. It's coming. It's definitely coming. Anyway, so Lebanon. Okay, Herms equals avatar, comms, reveal, Lebanon or Lebanon, and it equals THOT. Okay. Now, granted, that's not thoth with the TH on the end, but it equals THOT, which, I don't even know what that stands for. Maybe that's an acronym that's in the database. I'm not sure. But anyway, it matches Herms. And it's so close to Thoth, who wrote the Emerald Tablets. And already Lewis equals Hermes, right? And a very good friend of mine, JD, hi JD, told me the other night that Thoth was also known as THOT, Thoth. I think you'd say it. I'm not exactly sure. So, okay. So we have Herms and Thoth and Avatar. And it's just, how can that be? How can that be a coincidence? Right? That just can't be. I really don't think it could be a coincidence. Yeah, I'm going to try to make this brief. I'm already over a half hour. Sorry. And I'm going on to a new topic. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I already told you that he talked about a contingent election, that he could possibly win a contingent election. And you should look up all the rules about contingent elections. I mean, they're amazingly complicated. In our government, in the United States government, what that means is if you have a contingent election, if neither of the candidates from the two parties, the two-party electoral system, if neither candidate gets 270 electoral votes, then it's a contingent election. And the Senate votes on who the vice president is. It's kind of the opposite of what you think. And the House votes on the president. And that's how they get elected. If neither one gets is it 270 or 370? Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. 270. I just been having a brain cramp. Yeah, so anyway, that's what a contingent election is. So I just thought it was very interesting. And I was reading an article about it because I already told you about, like I said, RFK Jr., when he gave the big speech and he said he was still going to be on the ballot, and he encouraged people to vote for him too. I don't know if you remember. And he was like, well, if neither one gets 270 votes, electoral votes, then I could win. He says, I could win. So anyway, I think that possibly could happen because it's all being played out like it's a movie. Anyway, so there was an article. Now I even look at who writes the articles on, about different topics online. So I was reading an article about a contingent election, explaining it, and the person's name was Aisha, Aisha Woodward, like Woodward and Bernstein, like uncovering everything in the 70s with Nixon. I don't know. If you're near my age, you get it. Anyway, so I look at the authors of these silly articles, and they're usually fake. They really are. I mean, they have numbers that are put in there just to get us going, and decoding and things like that. And they have funny names, like a lot of double letters, like I talk about, you guys know. Hard to pronounce names in the articles or, authors of articles. So anyway, Aisha Woodward and Jewish gematria, when you put it in the database, is 2098. And listen to what it equals. Okay, so this article is written about a contingent election and all the rules. This person's fake name, I know it's fake, Aisha Woodward, Jewish 2098, it equals a series of unfortunate events, which was just like a book series. I remember my younger daughter reading when she was a young teenager. And it's about, each book is about, this bad stuff happened. And it's just bad stuff it's just a silly book for kids to read. And it's about all these bad things happening to the character in the book. And that's why it's called a series of unfortunate events. Well, that's what would bring about a contingent election, right? A series of unfortunate events. And this article is about that. And her name also equals nothing will happen until after the fall, right? So they're telling us right here, just from this person's name that wrote the article, not to worry until after the fall. Well, maybe they mean if the fall of the government. That's probably what they mean. It just hit me. Oh my gosh. This is too fun. Anyway. Oh, and I got to tell you about my necklace. See, I got my necklace on, and it's from Seymour Pushka. And I don't know, sometimes I think I'm saying everything wrong, but I hope not. Well, this person has sent me these beautiful things, and their name codes the things too. So it's a big deal that this person sent me this gorgeous necklace. Thank you. And so I woke up. This was the end of August. This is when I wrote this because it's been a while. Yeah, I woke up and I thought about my necklace, and when you wake up and the first thing you think of, or during a dream at night, you write it down, because it's usually from God and they're telling you something. So anyway, so I thought about my necklace. So I was like, oh, I got to work on this. She sent it and it came in a pretty little box. It had, was the company name on it. I worked on all of that. I worked on the company name and everything. So the necklace, see, is blue. It's metal. It's on like fishing line, and yeah, I should have done fishing line. Darn it all! It's so hard to do all this stuff, you guys. It's so hard. Anyway, so it's silver and it's metal pieces with, I think it's blue glass. I'm not sure exactly, and it's lots of strands. I could have done strands too. See, that's how this goes. That's how you figure these things out. Anyway, I just did blue, silver. That's the two colors. So I entered that in the database, and blue, just the two words, blue, silver. It equals simple gematria 125, and it equals John Kennedy. Isn't that the coolest thing? I just get so excited. And so it was in a box from a company named Leah, Leah, Lia, Sophia, Sophia, and there was no capitals, but anyway, and then it said share the love of jewelry with an R, a circle with an R in it, that you see for, I don't know. It's not like copyright. I'm not sure what the R stands for, but R is important to us because that's who we say wrote the R post, which is a famous thing in our Q posting and things like that. I won't get into that now, but anyway, let's see. So Leah Sophia equals, in simple gematria, 90. It equals hidden codes. Okay, hidden codes. Sister, because I think it's Jackie or Diana that sends me these things. It's usually Diana, excuse me. Decoder, Terrell, and that's who Martin Luther King disguises himself as Ryan Terrell, Trrell, and he's second in line or in command or whatever you want to call it in the New Hampshire Republican Party. And yeah, he's here. That's what he's doing. I mean, he's probably I know he's in lots of places, different places, but at least he's this one character here. And like, let's see, and it equals Leah Sophia, the company that made this necklace, equals double match because there's two, Jackie and Diana, Jackie Kennedy and Princess Diana, they're twins. I know that's weird if you're new, but they're twins. That's the way I look at it. And it's funny. It also equals cat. I am cat, but cat 2 times, like cat double, and I that's my nickname, Cat. And let's see. Share the love of jewelry was on the box, and it share the love, because that's a phrase, equals 138 Donald Trump, divine feminine, and it equals Derek Johnson. And Derek Johnson is the one that I said has this all the like executive order numbers and all that, explaining what's going on and how this is really a movie that, President Biden isn't really President Biden, and all kinds of things like that. What's going on? Okay, so that was share the love, and of jewelry, because that's like another part of the phrase. It's Jewish 2066, and it's Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and goddess who caused the death of millions. Because I don't think it was just one. I think there's two Adams and two Eves, and if you've been following me for quite a while, you know that's my opinion. It's like a theory, and could be wrong, obviously, and yeah. So I don't think it would be one goddess who did it, but I could just be one. I don't know. But anyway, of jewelry and simple gematria is 119, and it's Mary Magdalene. So it's like they're signing this for me. They're signing the package that they sent me. And anyway, I'm going to end it with for now. And I got lots more, but I got the really important stuff. And I just want to tell you guys I love you. And I hope maybe one of you can come up to New Hampshire. I know it's weird to see me. That would be so awesome. To just have somebody familiar out there in the audience. I've never done this before. It's going to be something completely new. And I'm not nervous at the moment. I'll probably be nervous right before I go up, but I'm excited right now. And Lisa D is going to be with me, who's done videos with me before. So we're going to go up together. So I really won't be alone, But anyway, so I think you can watch it on the Unity tour on YouTube. So I don't know how they're doing it, but it might be a pay-per-view. I don't know. And just look it up. It's Louis Herm's Screw Big Gov. And that's who's putting this on. Anyway, I love you guys. And see you later. Take care of each other, and I'll see you later. Bye.